I'm gonna show y'all a little bit about what I got. So you see, and the thing is, y'all, this wasn't even structured the right way. You see this right here? My face amount should have been a lot less. Even though it is the option B increasing, my face amount should have been a lot less because I really wanted to do this for cash back. So, like I'm saying, what I should have had is a lower face amount. When anytime you're getting somebody to structure your policy for cash value, whether it's to be funding, for retirement, or whatever, you want the face amount to be the least amount, and as you're putting in your premium, you want to see this side right here grow as fast as possible. You want to see these two lines grow as fast as possible. But also, the good thing about how this is structured, and that depends on what you're actually looking for, how you want to structure it, and that's the big thing about finding the right agent to actually structure it. The good thing about this, like let's say if I get age 16, I pulled out $293,000, right? I say, hey, I'm gonna pour that out. I'm gonna fund some stuff, and then I die. It's like, so I get to 16 and then I die, right? And I had already put out this 293,000. Well, that 938, 618. Sorry, I got one hand. You subtract that by the 293, 457. That's what I would pull the whole thing out, but I'm not. That's just saying. In general, that ends up turning to $645,160 something, right? And I know it look like it's a point in there, y'all. It's actually supposed to be comma, so forgive me for that. But yeah, so that would be how much would be paid out to my loved ones, to my kids, to my fiance, to whoever. So let's just say this, y'all. Even though this policy isn't structured the best way, it is better than nothing. Age 60, I only put in $144,000. I would be able to access up to dang near $300,000. I mean, that's almost double. I'm pretty sure that's double. Now, it took me 30 years. So at this point, you're probably like, Dev, so what would this policy actually be good for? Well, I'll tell you. This policy would actually be good for somebody who just want to leave a nice amount of money behind for their kids. Somebody that might know a little bit about wills and trust and stuff like that, right? The reason why is because you're never going to borrow more than your death benefit. Let me break that down to you, right? So in this case, no matter how much money you take out and borrow, your family is looking to almost always have $600,000, which is kind of my face amount, right? So no matter how much money I pulled out, even if I get to the 500,000, I still would have roughly about 600,000. If I get down, let's shoot all the way over to actually when I get to age 70, right? And yeah, you see, I put in roughly about 200,000, right? I get over here, I can now borrow up to most 600,000 with $1 million death benefit. Age 70, if I die, and I pulled out this 596,000, guess how much money I still would have left? Roughly that. So I hope that y'all learned something with that. That's actually my personal illustration of a policy that I had started at the beginning of this year around April. Now, when I first started this policy, I actually didn't know too much about index universal life or fixed index annuities. And that was actually my first time actually getting really involved into it, right? I did a lot of learning, a lot of researching, but I never knew how to really structure it myself. So I actually joined into a group, and the guy was actually structuring my policy for myself. That's actually why I got into life insurance. So I actually knew how to structure my policies and help my friends and family members also structure theirs the right way. So like I said with that, the way it was structured is that it's mainly for somebody who's looking to actually have a guaranteed death benefit in a sense. No matter how much money I pulled out, I always going to have that same similar death benefit. Even when my death benefit got up to $1 million and I was able to access a little bit over $500,000, once you subtract the differences from it, you end up finding that it's still that $645,000 face value. So this person actually structured my policy where my face value was always similar to that. Was always similar. It was always going to stay there. My face value was always going to kind of be that amount, no matter how much money I was putting out. So that way, if I put out the max amount that I had to borrow against, if something happens to me, like let's say I was at age 70, right, and then I had died, and I put all that money out, people was my family, my loved ones, my girl, my kids, right, will still have access to that 600,000. Now, if I didn't borrow that much, they would have got a lot more. So if I still had all my cash value left in there, they would have got that $1 million, $2 million in death benefit. But that's the real big key of that, and that's how it was structured that way. It was structured that way that no matter how much money I borrow, I was still going to have a nice face amount to leave back behind somebody. So if you actually like what I just discussed, or you want to see how this could work out for you, make sure that you leave a comment down below. DM me if this is on Facebook, or if it's on Facebook, then the link is right below. If it's on Instagram or anywhere else, then you probably have to go into my bio or just send me a message, and then I can get right back to you. So I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.